Oh, well, that was much quicker than it usually is. Okay, now it's on. Alright guys, so as a lot of you guys already know, the full moon was in Sagittarius yesterday. It was brightest at 7:52 a.m. Sagittarius is the philosopher of the signs, and I am a Sagittarius, so today we're going to focus more on philosophy. So I just want to jump right into it with like a nice introduction about what astrology should kind of mean to you, right? So before we do that, Facebook took away links, so I cannot link anything on my Facebook story, which is a little frustrating. So I'm trying to figure out a new clever way to do this. It's gonna have to go like that. Alright, so astrology, guys, I just want to point this out to a lot of people because there's a lot of confusion about the accuracy or the just validity of astrology as a whole. Astrology is a pseudoscience. Astrology is not a scientific practice. It is a pseudoscience based in philosophy and based in spiritual theory. It originated with the Sumerians, and it originated with, well, the Egyptians and the Sumerians. There's a lot of debate about which started which first, but essentially we know that it started in the eastern part of the world, and it was taken by the western part of the world and revitalized, etc., etc. But essentially it is a pseudoscience that is rooted in theory that is based in a lot of spiritual practices, okay? Now, what the westernizers did is they did add or verify some scientific facts that can back up astrology, which is amazing. But I'm just here to tell you guys that at the end of the day, when we subscribe to things like astrology, numerology, the ideal of twin flames, without completely understanding that these are simply theories that were written by other humans, we put ourselves in this box of not being able to absorb information completely, right? And that's what Sagittarius is all about. Sagittarius is the philosopher and the learner of the zodiac. So I'm here to tell you that you do not want to subscribe to any pseudoscience without doing your own research. Because anything that is scientific, there's a hypothesis or a theory, and then that theory can be tried over multiple times with the same results. With a pseudoscience, it is not tried and true, which means not all Leo suns are going to be exactly the same, right? There's a lot of different aspects that come into it because essentially it is a theory that has not been scientifically proven. But with science, we can prove and verify things by creating, like I said, a hypothesis and conducting research and doing, I'm forgetting the word right now, but labs and doing continuous, I'm forgetting the word, it doesn't matter, but you guys understand what I'm saying, to prove the validity of your theory or hypothesis. Experiments, that's the word I'm looking for. You do experiments that verify the validity of your hypothesis or your theory. And that could be duplicated over and over and over again with the same results. So I just want to say that what I'm telling you does not discredit astrology, because there are scientific truths to the theories of astrology. For example, it is a scientific fact that each planet resides in a specific constellation when each and every individual in this world is born, or even when major events take place in this universe, right? However, it's important to be informed and to do your own research so that you can get a belief system that works for you. And this is where I'm going to tie in the headline of this, is that if you stand for nothing, you will fall for anything. So having a strong belief system isn't about proving that you're right and someone else is wrong. It's about having something that you can stand up for and something that you would essentially fight for or die for if you had to. If you don't feel like you would die for astrology, and I know that might sound drastic, but once again, I am a Sagittarius, and this sincerely is how I view the world and my beliefs. If you don't feel like you would die for something, then you shouldn't be promoting it or even dabbling into it. If you're not going to go full-hearted into something, to me, you just don't do it at all, okay? So personally, it may not be, personally for me, I do believe in astrology, as you guys know, because I wouldn't waste my time doing these readings or posting information about astrology. And it may not be 100% factual, but it has still stood to be very accurate when applied to my life or certain societal scenarios that I have studied as an urban studies major. So, with that being said, if you have found astrology to be accurate in certain sectors of your life or certain sectors of other people's lives, and you're interested in learning more, I encourage you to look into the scientific roots of astrology rather than just reading books written by other humans that don't have tried and true experiments that can verify the scientific information behind the theories of who's compatible and, you know, how you're supposed to act if you have this placement in this place. All of that is essentially just fodder for the mouth, fodder for the brain. You know, they're fun theories to play around with in your mind, but at the end of the day, just going to keep saying it, they are just theories, okay? You are the only person who can know your full chart through and through. I mean, you could pay somebody to check your chart. I check charts, but you understand what I'm saying, is that in order to find out if astrology works for you, you have to go into a self-mastery process of your life where you master self first, and you master the understanding of connecting, making the connections and the patterns between your belief systems and your own life, okay? So I also just wanted to say that we all know of the personal connections, which is what I'm talking about, self-mastery, personal connections of each individual in astrology, such and such and such. However, some planets stay in the same sign for years, meaning everybody born under a certain time period share the same idealisms in certain areas. And these are actually called generational planets. So the generational planets are Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. So just a fun fact, Pluto was in Capricorn when America was stolen from the Native Americans. And Pluto is actually now in Capricorn. It's retrograde in Capricorn. It will move to Aquarius, I believe. And then it will transit back to Capricorn in 2023, which means, theoretically speaking, the same ambition and radical changes we saw back then will reoccur in 2023, the near future. So with these current generational transits occurring, the themes for many people are the same. Although we as individuals are attached to our sun signs, our moon signs, and our rising signs, those are individual signs that connect patterns in our life, right? But essentially, this positioning of the astrological, the positioning of the planets right this second are mimicking the same positions that have occurred also in the past. The same patterns that we see that happen in individuals are the same patterns that happen within society. So right now, like I said, we are going into a cycle. We're going through the cycle. We're going through each sign, right? Through all the planets are going through each sign. And right now we are meeting into a place where there was a lot of revolution as far as America is concerned. I'm not going to talk about worldwide or international because that's a whole different story. There's a lot of different aspects that you can go into there, especially as an urban studies major. I can probably talk for hours about that. But right now, as far as the USA is concerned, we are in that same cycle. So anybody who lives in the USA is most likely experiencing a lot of the same themes for those who live in the same or who were born in the same year span, okay? So with that being said, instead of doing each sign today and tapping into individual energy, although I do love doing each sign for you guys, that's not going to happen today. In honor of the Sagittarius full moon, super moon, we're going to do 3 themes that taps into the common generational themes that we will experience in the sectors of money, spirituality, and love. So because Sagittarius is the philosopher of the zodiac and ruled by Jupiter, the planet of expansion and learning, under this full moon, it is important to expand your belief system beyond the superficial information that was accumulated over time and solidify your beliefs with critical thinking and research, right? So since the full moon on the 14th was a super moon, it will shine exceptionally bright for the remainder of the week. And with that being said, you have this whole week to really think about your belief system, whether it's religion, astrology, numerology, you're into crystals, whatever it is. Now is the time with the full moon in Sagittarius to solidify your belief system, because come 2023, in the near future, you're going to come to a place where you do have to maybe not fight or die for it, but you will have to debate or argue about it. And it's not in the sense of like arguing because it's like war, because I'm not going to sit here and say I'm predicting war, but what I am saying is that there is going to come a time where these things, you know, me being on lives and etc., there's going to start to be more of a divide, the same way that happened with the Native Americans and the colonizers. Okay, you got to pick a side. So whatever side you choose, that's up to you, but now is the time to start to decide what side you'd like to be on. And also, more importantly, now is a perfect time to decide how you will defend yourself when that time comes, right? So, with that being said, I actually already pre-shuffled the cards. I will be going through and pulling out more cards like as I go and whatnot. I just really wanted to get a vibe before I jumped into this. I'm also hearing too, just intuitively, I may do some of the zodiacs as we go through, but I'm not quite sure. I think I really just want to do these 3. Now, if you guys are interested in a personal reading, you can go ahead and click the link or go ahead and send me a DM, and I can definitely tell you more on what your energy specifically should be expanding on and what you should be releasing before this whole divide happens, before these generational planets start to move into the new signs, etc., etc. But for now, we are going to just go with the general themes. So, I should have definitely did. So we're going to start off with money, because money and career are very big themes right now in regard to this whole collective, right? We all need money. How we're going to get that money. Capitalism is a very big topic right now. Just putting in the timestamps, guys. So let's do money. So money, there was a lot of cards that fell out. What I did is I pulled my down, and then I did numerology, so that way it was more of a analytical view, not so much of the whole spiritual thing. So when I pulled the cards, I got a lot of 10s and 5s. 10 is spiritually connected to receiving money, which means now is a time where there is a lot of financial and material abundance rotating throughout America. Once again, I'm going to be very specific here that I am speaking about America, USA. So if you do hear me fall back and say the world, please keep in mind. But yeah, so right now it seems that there's a lot of self-awareness happening. There's a lot of, we have the treading, and the treading is conduct, self-awareness, proceed with caution and sensitivity, correct behavior, and act responsibly. You know, we're in a time period where a lot of people are trying to make conscious products. They're trying to sell conscious services. We're being more friendly to the earth, or we're trying to have more green products and services. And maybe not just green, because that may not be your path or your main concern, but I think that it's just a matter of people really trying to overcome the seduction of capitalism and just getting rich off get rich quick schemes. I think that we're past the generation where we think that we can just sell a product just to sell a product just to get rich. A lot of people right now with this 15 here, the modesty, moderation, humility, keep it simple, lack of pretension, self-respect, sincerity, and respectability. We're in a place right now where people want to sell services and products, or have jobs and careers that are meaningful to them, that resonate with their souls, right? That it's not just about receiving the money here on earth, it's also turned into a collective idealism of what does this money mean to me? How is this money even helpful to my existence as a human being? Because I can't take this money with me when I die. And although I can leave some of it to my children, which is funny because the waiting here is a pregnant woman, the patience, it's more perseverance, taking care of essentials, restraint, leaving well enough alone, moderation, and right timing. It's not about being rich. It's about having the right resources at the right time. And people are more thinking about, okay, I can leave my child $1 million, but if my child doesn't have the right mindset, what is that $1 million going to do for them? So collectively speaking, money is turning into career, money, businesses. We're turning away from the capitalistic mindset, right? So when Pluto moves and transitions into Capricorn officially in 2023, we're going to see a very big divide of people who are very capitalistic. With this 15 here, 15 also represents the devil. It represents possession, addiction, authority, pride. We're going to have, and especially with this 8 here that we got in the numerology, 8 is all about fame, fortune, pride, limelight, finances. With the combination of that, we're going to have a divide of people who are using the 15 and the 8 energy on their polar opposites, the duality of these numbers. And the duality of these numbers are, like I just said, fame, fortune, pride, etc. And on the opposite spectrum of that is moderation, humility, respect, and consciousness, okay? So we go from a place where we're self-conscious, where it becomes consciousness just in the self, to a place where it's about subconscious and the validity and sustainability of society and earth, right? So with these 5s and the 2s here, this 2 is speaking very much to High Priestess energy, which is all about the intuitive knowing of the woman, which is funny because that's, once again, the feminine energy here with the 5. We're going into a more matriarchal society. We're going into a more matriarchal mindset. People are mothering their money. They're nurturing their money. Another thing that's coming through very strongly with the cards is about abundance. People are understanding now and redefining abundance. Abundance is not just about financial means. Abundance is about the abundance of love, the abundance of peace, the abundance of sustainability. Like, we're looking at abundance as much more than just, I want to be rich. People are starting to finally understand that they can't just be, this 4 here, impulsiveness, immaturity, bluffing, ignorance, learning, reckless behavior. We can't just be reckless with our actions in the name of money, and we can't just be reckless with our resources. And our resources are our energy mainly, and first foremost. And energy can be used for love, it can be used for business, it can be used for many things. So people are learning that they can't, my ears are ringing, people are learning that they just can't be as reckless as they once were. You can't just jump into, like I said, these get rich quick schemes. We can't just jump into relationships that drain us, because we have the long run to think about, the sustainability of our individual bodies, but also the sustainability of the earth. So we have decrease here, which is decline, cutting back, frugality, contraction, letting go, less is more, resourcefulness, and a sacrifice. So it's kind of back to what I just said about the resourcefulness. We're trying to be more resourceful. And with the 44 and the 15 here, that devil energy here, we have seduction, temptation, magnetism, a passionate encounter, meeting halfway, coupling, and sexual union. One thing I'm seeing overall with the collective in general and energy is that sex is not going to sell as much, especially with this naked woman here. Like I said, we're going to go through a divide, so there will be people who do still believe that sex sells. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that that idealism is going to be eradicated completely, but we're now working with a balance where, or not even like a balance, but we're now working at in a scale where this scale is going to keep jumping up and down, especially upcoming until 23 and until 2023, where that scale finally gets to even out. We don't know where the scale is going to end up weighing, but essentially there is going to be a group of people who are, like I said, fame, fortune, pride, sex sells, capitalistic, versus the other side where it's not capitalistic, humility, sustainability, green earth, etc., etc. So a lot of the common themes right now with money is going to tie into your idealism about capitalism, your idealism about selling sex, selling products and services, or joining careers and jobs that, you know, participate in these practices. It's going to be about obtaining a moral belief system, which is all about what I just talked about in the intro, is having a strong belief system that is going to allow you to operate in this world and have a sustainable life, not only for you, but for the next generations to come, right? As individuals, but also for this earth, okay? So that's what I'm seeing for money. And it's funny because we're jumping into spirituality, but it's kind of obvious that money and spirituality are very directly connected. So with the spirituality coming in, it's common, which I didn't realize this at first, but the spirituality card that I have is the turtle. I'm going to read this directly out of the book first, and then we have the Hierophant. So we have people learning lessons in spirituality. The turtle actually represents, before I jump into the book, the turtle actually has the 13, you know, there's some religions that believe that the turtle holds the whole world on its back. And with that being said, the turtle has 13 sectors on its back. And those 13 sectors are where the Sumerians and Egyptians, not necessarily exactly them, but where astrology first obtained its 13 astrological signs. As we all know, the westernization and colonizers removed those 12, one of the 12 signs, and one of the 13 signs, and we were left with 12 signs. But as most of you should know, the original astrological wheel does have 13 signs on it, right? So it's funny because it's exactly what I was just talking about a belief system, research, and knowledge. This is basic information that you can find in a lot of different texts, you know, that will talk about the theories of these Eastern practices before they were watered down to what it is that we think of astrology now. If you have this information, this could really help solidify your belief system, or it could really turn you off from astrology altogether. That's up to you. But I think that's where the Hierophant really comes into play as well. The Hierophant represents the teacher. The Hierophant represents, you see, the polar bear has these keys. The polar bear is represented in this deck of cards that I have. He's representing somebody who has the knowledge to survive in the harshest of times, and that's what those keys represent. The Hierophant has the keys to knowledge, the keys to understanding. And although this is a Virgo card, it has a lot of Sagittarian energy on it. So let's jump into the turtle, which also too was 15, and I think that comes right into place as well as to what I'm talking about. Not only is everybody going to have these feelings of this divide between, you know, capitalist, like the whole divide thing I was just talking about in regard to money. This is going to be a common theme we're going to see inside people's religion, spiritual practices, etc., etc. So for the turtle, it says, symbol of the earth, connection with the center, navigation skills, patience, self-boundaries, feminine energy, physically protecting oneself, self-reliance, non-violent defense. Let's talk about this. Everything I just talked about. symbol of the earth. This is about the earth experiencing astrological changes based on the positions of the other planets. Connection with the center. How do you center yourself through these astrological changes or through these societal changes that are happening on the earth, right? Navigation skills. How are you going to navigate through these changes? Patience. What we talked about here about being more patient now and not being in such a rush to receive money, to receive enlightenment, because that's really what spirituality is about. It's about becoming enlightened, right? Self boundaries, no longer accepting information at face value and doing our research to dig deeper into topics. Feminine energy, what I talked about having a more matriarchal mindset when it comes to the things in your life. Pulling out the feminine energy and nurturing our money, nurturing our bodies, nurturing our souls, etc., etc. Physically protecting one's self. Learning how to physically protect ourselves by strengthening our minds. Self-reliant. Relying on ourselves to do the research and not relying on others to do the research for us. And non-violent defense. What did I say in the beginning? We are not in a place where I'm telling you a war is going to break out in 2023, but I am telling you that it is spiritual warfare, intellectual warfare, so a non-violent defense. And what protects us in a non-violent defense? What is a non-violent defense? It is critical thinking. You have to be able to critically think for yourself. You cannot rely on others' information to you can't just regurgitate information for the rest of your life, okay? So, turtle crawls into your life with the message that slow and steady wins the race. Do not feel that you have to force or push a situation, nor should you take shortcuts or skip steps. Take your time, let everything unfold at the right time, relax, and trust in the process. Alternatively, the turtle is telling you that this situation will unfold in a slow and steady manner. Do not rush it, stay grounded, and enjoy the process. So with that being said, it's exactly what I just said. No, you should not take shortcuts or skip steps. We cannot skip steps to enlightenment. We cannot skip steps to receiving abundance or manifesting. And we cannot skip steps in terms of our physical, mental, or spiritual health, right? We have to take our time. We have to make a plan. And if you guys check out my stories, you guys will see about me talking about making a plan. It's not a big thing. It's just a simple thing. We have to make a plan right now under the Sagittarian energy. Make a plan to have a belief system. Make a plan for what you're going to do for the future and stick to it. And understand that that plan is going to unfold in a slow and steady process. Rome was not built in a day, right? If it was easy, everybody would do it. Everybody would be spiritually enlightened and everybody would be rich. But we're not, because there's a lot of impatience and reckless behavior that occurs within these sectors, within the sector of healing self, and within the sector of self-mastery, and within the sector of manifesting abundance. So I'm going to jump into love. But I just want to go ahead and say here, guys, also that at the end of the day, when it comes to manifesting anything, there's always going to be a million different ways that you can learn to manifest. And I just want to point out that doing your research and figuring out a spiritual practice that helps you manifest is amazing. But I'm all about spiritual, physical, and mental balance, self-mastery. And I feel as if it should go without saying, but it shouldn't, because there's a lot of magical practices that people are doing right now to go ahead and try to manifest abundance for themselves, financially, spiritually, mentally, whatever it may be. And I just want to point out that the main root of the main root of manifestation is always going to be make a plan. Make a plan. You can't skip the plan. Otherwise, it's just hopeful thinking, wishful thinking, okay? So in order to eradicate the idea that if you just think it, then you can do it, you have to start applying physical practices to your thought process. And that includes making plans, making deadlines, and actively working towards your goals, not just in your mind, but also here in the physical realm. And that's what Turtle talks about here on Earth, and the connection to self, right? Connect to yourself, figure out what the hell you want, but then activate it by making steps and active progress towards these goals, okay? So yeah, let's jump into love. And so with love, we also have patience. It's a lot of patience here coming through. And we had 10 of Cups, Death, and 6 of Wands. So the 10 of Cups, happiness, good things, party or celebration. Death is a death of a situation or endings, new beginnings. And then the 6 of Wands represents letter or news coming, victory, news. So essentially what these cards are telling me is that in the love aspect of a lot of things, is that there is going to be a lot of endings and a lot of new beginnings occurring within the collective. That's common. We see it all the time. Lots of breakups and divorces, but also in terms of look at these people. Also in terms of a spiritual death within the self as well, in which the person goes ahead and is going to have death to a lot of the idealisms they have wrapped around love, right? So sorry, I had to delete that person. So with that being said, there will be a lot of death to the ego, death to the idealisms of how to be loved, when to be loved. With the 10 of Cups, we have happiness, good things, party or celebration. It seems like there's going to be a celebration of self-love, especially with the 6 of Wands, letter or news, victory coming in. It's going to be a lot of people leaving toxic relationships, understanding that they deserve better and applying it to their lifestyle. Exactly what I just talked about, is that it's not enough to just manifest and pray and wish that we have lovers who love us back and reciprocity and all of these things. We have to activate that in our life by applying it, by doing things. My computer's freezing, I'm sorry guys. By doing things in our life that shows that we want these things, right? Let me see this comment. That would really depend on what your sign is. I don't know what your sign is, but just to point out though, Sagittarius and Aries are two very completely different signs. Even though they're both fire signs, and even a Leo is a fire sign, the signs go from in numerology, in numerical order. So from 1 to 12. Aries is the first sign in the zodiac, which means Aries is technically considered the child of the signs. They're the most childish, the most immature, and this is with the utmost respect, because everybody does have different aspects in their chart. So this person you're talking about, I don't know them, I can't diagnose them, or I can't just go on the record and say, oh, they're immature, but they would have immature qualities about them in their fire elements of their personality. Especially if they're an Aries sun, that means their ego is most likely a little immature. And yeah. So with that being said, when we're talking about a Sagittarius woman versus an Aries woman, there's going to be drastic differences. Sagittarian women, because Sagittarius is the 9th and almost to the end, they're very philosophical. They're very connected with the spiritual world, as we talked about in the beginning of this. I don't know if you're going to go back or whatever, but Sagittarian energy is very theoretical. It's philosophical. They're able to look at all sides of the conversation, picture, anything that it is. They're much more empathetic. So in regard to, are you a Sagittarius? But in regard to that, it is like that's gonna be a drastic change. The ego is different in regard to it. Yeah, the ego is different in regard to a Sagittarius. In regard to a Sagittarius, our ego is more like, I've already done the research. Like, once they have a belief system, it's very hard to change a Sagittarian's mind about it, but they're not going to be immature about it. And overall, Sagittarians are very optimistic. And just to let you know, on face value, I don't have your full chart, so I can't tell you exactly. On face value, Sagittarians and Aries aren't really compatible. What I can say for you is that you should try a Gemini woman. To be honest, Gemini is on the opposite spectrum of our chart. So when you look at the zodiac circle, we're Sagittarius. Right across from us is Gemini. We just had the Sagittarius. I'm actually glad you're asking me this, because I wanted to mention this and I didn't get to mention it. But we just had the Sagittarius full moon in Gemini season. This is a random question. It could resonate with you, it could not resonate with you. But if you listen to Tupac, you most likely like Gemini energy. So, because Tupac is a Gemini, I'm literally obsessed with Tupac, his idealism, his thoughts, the way he moved, the way that he expressed himself in the realm of fortune and fame, how he conducted a lot of things. There's a lot of things I don't agree with, because he is a man and I am a woman, so there's always going to be things that I oppose, for example, his trial and whatnot. But the overall point is that Geminis and Sagittarians have a way of being able to communicate, because they want to talk about the bigger issues of the world. They are. But the issue is that Gemini also is like a mirror. They're represented by the twins. So essentially, if you get with the Gemini, you better have done your shadow work, because when you get with a Gemini is going to be quick to call out your immature traits or your bad qualities. And they tend to mirror our bad qualities. So whatever you're not good at, Gemini will kind of pick up on that and tend to do it to you. It's kind of like they're going to treat you how you treat others kind of energy. So I would say that if you're ready for a relationship, a serious relationship, or even a relationship that helps you grow to the next level, because some people like to do that. Some people like to just date, right? So if you're just like in the dating realm and you just want to learn more about yourself and learn about how to have a good relationship, because technically you could be compatible with anybody, right? But a good place to start would be a Gemini who is kind of ready to, talk about some stuff. Yes, absolutely. They're going to call you out. They're not nice about it. They go from 0 to 100 in terms of their mood swings. That's why they're represented by the twins. One twin is nice and really humble and etc. And then the other twin is mean and prideful, and yeah. But they are good communicators, so they're always going to find a way to communicate and communicate through problems. But essentially, if you are just looking to get this kind of more spiritual and more in-depth look at yourself and look at your relationships and the possibility of what it takes from you and what you'll need from a partner, the best person for you to have a conversation with is a Gemini. One of my best male friends is a Gemini, and they help me see myself every single time we have a conversation, and it's very helpful for me. I personally am with a Leo right now, so I also understand the whole fire on fire energy thing. It's not always easy. So another thing you can do too is really look into people's moon signs, the other aspects of their signs, etc., etc., etc. But yeah, if you're interested in a more personal reading, definitely hit me up. You can click the link or just send me a DM, and I'm more than happy to help you with that. So yeah, so for the love in general, that was a nice little tidbit though. I appreciated the question. Thank you. So in themes in general for the love, we're looking at a whole divine change in regard to, the wisdom card also came out. We're looking for a whole divine change in regard to how we view ourselves and how we begin to love ourselves. As a collective, there's more wisdom in regard to love. There's not this very small idealism that love is just romantic, right? Love is not just romantic. It's platonic. It's familial. Love comes in all shapes and sizes, right? And just because we may not have romantic love in our life doesn't mean we don't have love in our life. You know, a lot of people will be like, how's your love life? I always say mine is 100% great, because at the end of the day, in regard to love, I have love coming in and pouring in from my family. I have love coming in and pouring in from my friends. I may not have romantic love at all times, but at the end of the day, I'm always loved. And that type of wisdom helps me feel not so alone in this world. It helps really curb the opportunities for depression to come in and really take me down a notch in my confidence, right? Or in my active role in this world as a sister, a soon-to-be mother, that felt cool to say, a cousin, a friend, etc., a daughter, etc., etc. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and close that part off here. How long have I been live? It's been about 40 minutes. So what I'll do is I'll do a quick run through of each sign. We're not going to do long. What I'm going to do is, let's see what cards are calling me. I don't have my fairy cards. I actually wish I had my fairy cards right now. I'm going to do the Tao. That's what's calling me. Guys, ever since I've been pregnant, just a little fun fact about me. I can't fucking catch my breath. I feel like I'm always out of breath, and it's very frustrating. Because all this extra weight just makes you like, ugh. Just gonna leave a little comment here. We're rolling it into all 12 signs. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so we're going to jump into Aries first. Everybody knows I prefer to do them in order. We're going to run through the Tao, and if I need any clarifiers, I will pull tarot. But I'm going to stick to like kind of basically one card per... I'm going to try, but you guys know how I get. So you guys may have me for like another hour. I don't know though. We'll see how I feel. Oh, I know that sounds horrible too, guys, so I will be shuffling, because I had already pre-shuffled, so you didn't have to hear this, but... Oh, Aries is at the bottom right here. Alright, so it looks like with this Sagittarian full moon, for Aries energy, we have conflict and work what has been spoiled. So conflict is willpower, hostility, jealousy, stubbornness, aggression, fear, competitiveness, and what else is this on? Controversy. So it seems like it's been a controversial weekend and couple days for you guys. It looks like in regard to your healing process and your attempt to clean up corruption and restore balance, it seems like you've been trying to be responsible, but you keep clashing with people. It could be kind of what I talked about this imbalance that I just talked about in the bigger reading of money, spirituality, and love, is that there's going to be a collective divide between people who don't agree, who don't have same belief systems. It seems like you could be coming into Aries, you could be coming into something, whether it's a belief system as far as money is concerned, love is concerned, or spirituality is concerned. I'm going to leave that up to you to figure out. But it seems like you could have this idealism that you just came into, and as a result, you were kind of thought you were going to go on this healing journey, and the full moon vibes was giving you vibes to change and clean up some stuff and etc., etc. But in the process of expressing what it is that you now believe, you've had some controversy. You've had some people push back on your belief system. People who want to overpower you, you know, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. So, Aries, what I'm going to say, Aries, is that critical thinking is going to be your best friend, because at this time, it seems like you're having a hard time. I just got lightheaded. it seems like you're having a hard time expressing what it is you believe to the fullest extent. It seems like you need more research. So I'm going to go ahead and encourage you to do some more research on whatever it is that you are considering as your new belief system, or to solidify your belief system. And this will really help you have the confidence to stand by your thought process and not let people overpower you or overcome you, right? Stand by what you believe in. Going to come back to the title of the thing. If you stand for nothing, you will fall for anything. And if you stand only with one foot on the ground, or you stand halfway on something, you're still going to fall for anything. And it seems like that's what's happening with you, Aries. You're falling for a lot of stuff. You're falling for lies. You're falling for the manipulation of the mind. So yeah, to stop that, what you really want to do is you want to just get critical thinking and really just look deeper into yourself, all right? So let's move into Taurus, 45, 33. So Taurus, I have 51, the arousing, and 55. A lot of 5 energy, which means, Taurus, you're going through a lot of changes right now, I can see. With this 51 energy, I always point this out. Not always, but I sometimes feel called to point this out. This arousing card is represented in my practice with these cards. I always connect this back to Shango, the Orishas. So you could be somebody who needs to start doing candle work, is what's coming to me, Taurus. Going and getting the 7 powers of Africa candles. You can even get the Santeria candles, the ones that are more used in Latin culture. I don't really care. But with Shango coming through so strongly in your reading, it seems like you could be dealing with an energy that is kind of a very prideful person. It could be not that it's a person, but it could be even just an energy that you're up against, government. It could be yourself, like the conflict within self, the Shango energy. But it's upheaval, a crisis, a shock, dramatic power shifts, unpredictability, a shake-up that's a wake-up. If this is a love or romance situation, you're dealing with somebody who sleeps with a lot of people or has a lot of lovers. But essentially, in regard to the Taurian energy, what this is saying is this is similar to the Tower moment in tarot, and it's basically saying, like, everything's changing right now. You know, the king has been, the castle has been set afire, and the king is falling out from the top. So this could have to do with money. The king could have lost their job. You could have lost your job. Inner riches, reaping rewards, culmination, harvest. Something you planted or manifested in your life could just not be going well. Generosity, you could have been too nice or too generous to others, and as a result, you're now going through a Tower moment. Profusion and plentiful and fertility. This could have something to do with just like your children, if you're a Taurian who has children, losing access to them, losing respect for you, you losing respect for them, losing time with them, things of that nature. Especially with abundance. Abundance is very connected with time and love, so it feels like there's a lot of love and time that is being lost with this Tower coming through. And also with this abundance card coming through. I'm just going to pull a clarifier. But it seems like you need, when it comes to expansion and release, it seems like you need to expand your idealism of familial love. And it seems like you need to release the ideal that people owe you. Yeah, but with this Tower moment, this is very intense. It's 6 here, so it seems like somebody has a very bad attitude, right? When I said that, the Lovers came through. So it seems like this is really a big issue for love for you. And it's not just romantic love. 6 of Wands is here. Understanding. There's a lot of misunderstandings happening here. People are misunderstanding each other right now, Taurus. So in order to help each other and understand each other, especially when we still have the Sun in Gemini, Taurus, it's going to be very beneficial for you to tap into a higher meaning of what love is. We have to start practicing unconditional love collectively. Specifically with you, Taurus, it seems like that's what you have to tap into. Unconditional love. Do you love these people or this person unconditionally? Do you love yourself unconditionally? For those who aren't dealing with a situation with another party, but they're dealing with the situation with society, like I said, being put out of the home, dealing with a governmental issue where you're trying to get like assistance from somebody, trying to get a job, etc., etc., or you're trying to find a home. Are you loving yourself enough to reap this abundance? So yeah, that's what you really need to expand on and release right now, Taurus. Now let's jump into Gemini. Gemini, the sun is still in Gemini for a little while longer, so your season's been going by pretty slow. The reason for that is because you guys know that Mercury retrograde was in your sign, because Mercury was in your sign while the sun was in your sign, so we had a lot of Mercury energy. Now we know that Saturn is in retrograde, so with that being said, there's a lot of, I'm getting a few cards for you. I'm not going to read all of them. I'm just going to see where they take me, Gemini. Because they may be some of the same messages over. So we have biting through, take decisive action, restore order, force applied with sensitivity, justice, a tenacious devotion to a task. Gemini, it seems like you're very focused on money because we have increase here. So we have sharing, reaping rewards, overflow, expansion, flowering, encouragement, fertile ground, abundance. But with the fertile ground and then the innocence, it seems like some are focused on money and family, possibly starting a new family. We have determination, no compromises, unwavering focus, inner resolve, integrity, a test of character. Seems like you can be testing others and testing yourself right now. How far can you go? How much is it worth? How much is everything worth? You're no longer looking at the price tag of things. You're looking at the value of things, Gemini. So with that being said, is with you looking at the value of things, what I'm going to say is that what you need to expand on is understanding manifestation and understanding what you are going to have your belief system rooted in manifestation, how to manifest your rituals, etc., etc. Bring it back to you can go back to the section I just did of spirituality, and that will really resonate with you. You should probably watch the whole beginning, but either way, the point is, Gemini, is that for you, it's going to be very important right now to understand what fertile ground is, how to plant a seed, and how to have a routine that will make that seed grow, and not only grow, but grow for a very long time. This could be an actual seed for money, actual seed. You may actually want to start planting things, a seed of the human seed into the soil to have a baby. But it seems like you need to expand your belief system or expand your knowledge and understanding of how to make things grow, how to have a routine to make things grow. What you need to release, it looks like, is the past. Things in your past have made you feel like it's impossible to grow. It's impossible to be a good father or mother. It's impossible to be rich. It's impossible. I'm just hearing impossible, 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 impossible. You think a lot of things are impossible. And the way to let go of that idealism is to let go of the past and to let go of the people, the words that people have put into your brain to make you feel that way, okay? So let's move into who's next? Cancer. All right. Once again, sorry about that annoying noise of shuffling, Cancer. I just want to point out, guys, too, that, like, these things I know, like, even just doing, I know this is a simple thing, but even just being able to name the astrological signs in order off the top of my head, these are things that took me a very long time to learn. I didn't just read a book or read a meme and learn this information. I'm a kinesthetic learner. At one point in my life, I literally had signs all through my bedroom with the astrological signs, in regard to numerology, fun facts, quick facts. I don't just buy books or get books from the library, because everybody knows I'm a library girl. I do not just borrow books or read books that talk about the idealism or theories of these things. I greatly talk about and read about the scientific backgrounds of them. So I just want to point that out while I was doing Cancer real quick. Learning is a process, and you have to figure out your learning style. I'm a kinesthetic learner, so I ran with that, and I taught myself kinesthetically. So, Cancer, what we have here is these people. I don't know how they find so quick, but y'all just gotta cut it out. It's so rude. I'm clearly doing a reading, and you think I want a reading from you. Like, how rude. I'm so rude. Sorry about that to the person who commented. It really just annoys me that they do this. Just block to that person as well. Alright, I'm sorry about that, Cancer. So, Cancer, we have 31, influence, courtship, mutual attraction, genuine affection, natural magnetism, stimulation, connecting. Now we have determination, no compromises, unwavering focus, which is funny. I just pulled that for Gemini. Could be a Gemini connection, could not be, but it is what it is. I'm still going to say what I see. Inner resolve, integrity, test of character, self-examination. Cancer, right now what I'm sensing for you is you're extremely tired. You're tired of lies. You're tired of this war in your mind between masculine and feminine energy. You want to be more of what you are in the world. So if you're a man, you want to have more masculine energy. If you're a woman, you want to have more feminine energy. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't. I always try to be gender neutral, but I am just seeing what I'm seeing. So this is in no way knock at anybody who isn't gender specific. But anyways, the point is there's a war of gender, of masculine and feminine energy within the mind. For feminine energy, what I'm sensing is that you've had to be very independent, and you've had to be very you've had to kind of be like, you know, some people have single mothers, and then they're like, my mom was my father and my mother, you know, that kind of thing. Like, you're fathering and you're mothering your life, your lifestyle. You know, you have these mothering aspects, but essentially, like, you're doing a lot of fathering as well, you know? You're the protector, as well as you're the protector, the go-getter, these masculine things, the creator. You're the seed planter, you're the manifester, you're the money getter. But you also have to clean up the wounds. And this isn't just to say if you actually have a child. I'm literally talking about, like, even for yourself, you know? You have to be all of these independent masculine energies for yourself to help you survive. It's like survival kicked in. At one point you were going through survival. No compromises, determination, unwavering focus, inner resolve, integrity, test of character, self-examination. It seems like you're now examining this, and you're kind of at a place where you're like, I just want to sit back, you know? I just want to do the mothering thing. You know, I don't want to exert all of this energy trying to go get all of these dreams. I need support. I need help. I need a protector, you know? So, and if it's vice versa, if you are a masculine or a man or resonate with masculine energy, it's kind of like you've had to take care of your own emotions. You've had to take care of, like, the cooking, the cleaning, these feminine aspects of life, especially if you're like a bachelor. You know, you've had to do things that a woman could be doing. And I don't mean to sound so traditional, but it just is what it is. What the hell? Why am I getting so many today? But essentially, it feels like what you guys really are going through is just this aspect of, I would now want someone to cook for me. I now want to have someone clean for me so I can go focus on getting the money and come back and do what a man is supposed to do, you know, and start having children and do these things, etc., etc. So with that being said, it seems like you need to expand on this idealism of trust. I would read some text on trust, start finding a nice belief system in the realm of trust, because it seems like you're having a hard time trusting yourself and trusting others, Cancer. But you're having a hard time trusting others because you essentially don't trust yourself. So that would be what you're going to expand on. That would be the philosophy that you want to think about. Read into different philosophical texts on trust. I would read into the scientific background of trust, of which part the brain literally activates trust. Have you had damage to that part of your brain? And I say that with the utmost respect. I'm just saying, let's think about this practically and scientifically, not just spiritually. So with that being said, I would really look into that. The thing you need to let go of is the ideal that, because I'm not going to say you can't do it all. You can do it all. Let go of the ideal that you need to do it all, right? Let go of the ideal that everything is up to you. If you don't do everything, the whole world is just going to fall on your lap. It's just not the truth. You know, delegate responsibility, get help from others. Yeah, that's where I'm going to leave yours at, Cancer. Let's go into Leo. Who is it? That's crazy, because I'm pretty sure that's a Leo who just knocked on my door. Oh, that's wild. Okay, so we have a lot of Shango energy coming through for Leo, which is very common since Leo is literally the Shango of the astrology. So, but we have a Tower moment happening. Unpredictability, awe-inspiring, upheaval. It feels like an uphill battle. But it doesn't feel like the same as the Taurian energy. When we pulled this card for Taurian energy, it felt like they were in the middle of a Tower moment. For Leo, for some reason, it feels like the Tower moment has just ended, right? They were just going through this this Shango energy of just feeling like, because you guys are all about self-confidence, pride. You're represented by the lion, showing the mane, etc., etc. So kind of like this moment of just being out there in the world, getting a lot of attention, and then it all subsiding and you having to go deep within self and figuring out, like, who am I without this attention, and etc., etc. And now you're in this place of completion, final attainment, a job well done, perfection. With the Sagittarian full moon, it feels like you feel like your whole world has come, you know, full circle, 180. Like, you understand why you went through such a big Tower moment, and it's all making sense now. You understand why, you know, you were addicted to attention at one point, and now at this point, it's kind of like, I didn't even need all of that. I had it all within myself, because we have limitation here. So the self-discipline, practice, self-respect, introspection, ritual, cultivating patience, building up energy, maturity. So we have literally, just give me 1 second, guys. So for Leo energy, we have literally a point in our lives where it's like, we're in your lives right now with the Sagittarian full moon, where it's like you're finally understanding why everything has happened to you, and you're finally in this place where it's like you're respecting yourself, you're becoming more mature. So what I would say is an expansion is, I think you want to expand in discipline and expand in routine. You want to expand in this place where you're going to be able to be confident in what you're doing daily practices. So you want to look into some philosophy and ritual practices, self-discipline, introspection. Kind of rambled off a little bit there, but we want to bring it back to is practice and ritual. Practice and ritual. You need to find rituals that work for you, Leo, right now, and then what you need to do is you need to respect yourself and have enough patience to give them enough time to really resonate into your lifestyle, right? And build a critical thinking, critically think through these things and build a belief system that is going to be your forever belief system, right? You're done jumping around, you're done moving from place to place, you're done with the tower moment, you're finally pushing down your roots, right? Which is funny because the lightning here, the Shango energy, does look like roots, right? So you're finally putting down these roots. How do you sustain the roots? How do you sustain what you've grown for yourself? And we do that with practice and ritual. You might resonate with the Gemini, because Gemini, just kind of talked about this a little bit, is all about trying to expand on how to grow a seed, right? You may have already planted a seed, Leo, and you're at this point where it's like starting to sprout up, and now you're just like, oh shit, you know, it's broken through the earth. What do I do now? How do I make sure it continues to grow? So that's what you want to look into, rituals and practices that will help you with your growth, right? What you need to let go of is immaturity, and it looks like you need to let go of the unpredictability. You need to be more predictable. I know that doesn't sound fun for Leo because you guys are just people who love to jump from place to place, but at the end of the day, it's a time in your life where you need to go ahead and just be a little bit more predictable. Stop trying to be so unknown and mysterious. Like, give up the mystique of being a Leo. All right, now we're going to jump into Virgo, which is kind of funny because Virgo is literally like Leo's worst nightmare, in the sense of just like they're so mundane and disciplined and just like so boring. I just think that's how a lot of Leos look at like Virgo. So it's kind of like that's like the energy you almost like want to be in a little bit. I'm not gonna say like go full-fledged Virgo because they are a little boring, no offense, but it's like you do just want to be more disciplined, like more of the hermit energy, because Virgo is represented by the hermit in tarot, whereas Leo is represented by the strength card. You know what I mean? They're always trying to be strong and, you know, out there in the world and blah, 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 versus Virgo, where it's like they'd rather just stay at home and never be seen by another human being again. So this energy is being stubborn. Oh no. I don't even have any Virgos that watch me on lives. So I don't know who's watching. But I'm going to need you to calm that energy down. Thanks. Once again, sorry about that annoying noise. Alright, so for Virgo energy, wow, this is crazy. Okay, one more. It's kind of like how I pulled Gemini, actually. There's like a few cards coming through. Oh, no. Alright, so we have two different energies coming through for Virgo. Well, two, but at the same time, kind of very connected. First and foremost, that's crazy because I was just talking about Leo with the discipline and how Leo might have to pick up some tips from Virgo and energy. So discipline came through, which is exert authority, define, it's time to take the bull by the horns, create a strategy, and mobilize forces, which is exactly what I was just talking about, Leo, what they need to do. Make a strategy. They need to like take the progress that they've made and run with it, unless they want it to just completely die. But it seems like with the Virgo energy, what we have here is there was a death of a friendship or death of a relationship, companionship, mutual respect, interdependence, agreement, strengthen, and bond. You could have thought you had an agreement with somebody and you feel like that agreement has been revoked or it's over. But it feels like it's not something that was discussed. It feels like it was like a radical change that just occurred. A quantum leap. You went from one place to another place and you just don't even really quite understand how you got there. But we have the inner alchemy card, and it seems like it's inner alchemy, mastery, spiritual renewal, concentrate, contain, rejuvenation, discern, and wisdom. It feels like this was a really big lesson for you, Virgo, but also more importantly, it seems like it's kind of pushed you into hermit mode. This card is the similar card to Hermit in the tarot, and Hermit is represented by you. We just discussed this. So it's all about being alone, all about self-knowledge, spiritual rejuvenation, this radical change, revolution, something that's changed in your life, losing a lover, losing a friend, losing a job offer or a job, anything of that nature. This could have greatly affected you to a point where it's just kind of like you're now just reconsidering everything. But you're coming to a place where you're ready to now take the bull by the horns, right? You've had some progress. You've had some changes in your views about the situation. You're building up self-confidence again, and now you're in a place where it's like you're trying to go forward. So it's kind of like you're in this place now where you're creating a strategy for your life. You'd like to move forward. But there's energy coming through here. It seems like there's a past lover or a lover where it's like the Marian Maiden came through. A compromising situation, subordination, succumbing to seduction, manipulation, and low self-esteem. You could have been dealing with the past lover who didn't have good self-esteem. Or that you feel like manipulated you. You feel like you were manipulated in some way. And then the receptive is coming through here, which is the mother principle. It could be that you're having some mommy issues, and I say that with the utmost respect. But either you're dealing with like mommy issues, or you have a lover, male or female, this doesn't matter, because this more might resonate with like the male Virgos, because it's coming through with such feminine energy as who the lover is. But as we know, there's a lot of males out there who have feminine energy and act like females. And I'm like, just the honest truth. They just act very jealous. Like, jealousy is a feminine quality. So a very jealous, if you're a female, you were dealing with a very jealous past lover, father of your child, because this is a pregnant receptive card. So yeah, so with the male Virgos, the female Virgos, it doesn't matter. Past lover who was very jealous. They came off as devoted, patient, supportive, intuitive. They probably had high priestess energy. They came off as like earthly and like organic and humble and down to earth. But essentially they were somebody who was very jealous. You felt like they manipulated you. They may have put you in compromising situations emotionally, spiritually. And I'm going to say more emotionally and spiritually because essentially it seems like you've had to reel yourself back in emotionally and spiritually. So what I'm going to say for you, Virgo, is what you need to expand on during the rest of this supermoon and during this full moon is really kind of figuring out we're going to pull a clarifier. But I think that you need to figure out you need to master your emotions, and I think that you need to learn how to stop demonizing people. I think you need to learn about the law of assumption. What you see in others is what you see in yourself. The lovers just came through. So definitely a lover. Or like a mom-dad issue. Like you watching other lovers. I'm going to sit very strongly on that. But you need to master emotions, and you need to master the idealism of law of assumption. I don't always subscribe to people to read the law of attraction book because it was written by a white man, and I don't like books written by white men, and I don't ever want people quoting books written by white men who presume to know everything. However, the law of attraction book does have some valid points in it. For example, the law of assumption. The law of assumption is not something that author discovered on his own. It was a theory he moved off of from Eastern practices. So if you Google the law of assumption, you can find a lot of different text on it. However, a good place to start is with the law of attraction book, because he does have a good excerpt in there where he talks about the law of assumption. Essentially what the law of assumption says is that Ace of Cups is here. So yeah, you definitely feel like you lost out on an opportunity. So basically what the law of assumption is that you can only see in others what you see in yourself. So if you think somebody manipulated you, or you think that somebody is evil and a liar, it's most likely because you lied and you were somewhat evil and you somewhat manipulated the other person as well. That's just the truth. It's the power of duality and the power of polarity. Maybe other topics you should check into scientifically if you don't want to look into the law of assumption, because technically that is still a philosophy. There's not really much fact behind it. But the fact behind it that I can give you, that they're not going to tell you in the law of attraction book or mostly other texts, is that it's the power of duality and the power of polarity. So north and south, evil and good, north and west and east, etc., good and evil, whatever. I think I already said that one. It doesn't matter. These are the power of duality. A narcissist, an empath, whatever it is that you think that you're going through, if you see that quality in one person, in your partner, they're most likely mirroring that quality from you. So check into that information. That will really help you. That's what you need to expand on. It will help you move on. It will help you not feel like you lost an opportunity, and it will give you more of an opportunity to go into this mode just a little bit more before you mobilize and really look at yourself and see what you have brought to the table for you to have received this type of treatment. All right. And what you need to let go of is assumptions. It feels like you're assuming that somebody treated you away, but it feels like you're really kind of making these assumptions based on their actions. And I know people always say actions speak louder than words, Virgo, but it's just not the truth. It's not always the truth. Sometimes words speak louder than actions. You can't presume to know what somebody's going through or why somebody made choices they make unless you actually ask them. You can't just assume things. As we know, when you assume things, you make an ass of you and the other person. So we're going to go into Libra. Oh, that was easy. Alright, so Libra, I don't know what's good with Libras and Virgos. Guys, I'm going to tell Libra now, please go watch what I just said with Virgo. I don't know why you guys think this is a very common mistake humans make. Apparently, Virgos and Libras are making it the most right now. But guys, people aren't evil. Libra feels like they've been seduced. They're being tempted into an argument. For some Libras, this is familial. For some Libras, this is sexual. It feels like you feel like somebody took something from you. You feel like you were sharing your body and your mind with somebody, and you feel like you're in this place with this 59. May was probably a very big month for you of just feeling like, oh, I need to just restore harmony in my life and get this evil spirit negative. You're probably doing a lot of saging, just that kind of energy. You're circulating around, especially with Librian energy. We talk about this all the time. Libras are the lovers of the zodiac. You guys were probably spreading your love around, talking to a lot of friends and a lot of family members about how this person wronged you, because that's the difference between you and Virgo energy. I still would recommend you watch Virgo energy because it will stop me from having to repeat a lot of the things I just said to Virgo. However, Libra, at the end of the day, it like you guys are like kind of gossipers. So like you guys love to talk. You guys are air energy. You guys are communicators. So when it comes to something that happened in your life, you may not feel like you're gossiping, but at the end of the day, it seems like something that happened in late April, because we have 4 and 5 here, lots of 4s and 5s here. Late April or April and May, something happened that caused you to tell people, and now as a result, there's these rumors going around, right? And you have to remember, Libra, you could have been completely innocent in all of this, in the sense of like, you didn't think you were gossiping. You just thought you were sharing some information with some close friends or family. But at the end of the day, like, your close friends and family have close friends and family. They have close friends and family. So these, and then it's like playing telephone. You start with one thing, you know, I saw a turtle today, and it turns into all the way at the end, or such and such saw a turtle and brought it back to me. Now by the end, it's reached over, you know, 15 people, and by the end they're like, oh, such and such stole a turtle from its natural environment and brought it to this person. Now that person looks like a bad guy, all because you just shared this one very simple statement with somebody. So watch what you say, and watch what you say about other people, because people, you can't presume to know people. You can't presume to know what's going on in somebody's mind. And even it seems like there's a situation where it's like you have a good understanding of that person because they actually told you out of their mouth, like, listen, like, I've been through these traumatic experiences, or I have this type of trauma, so I react in this way due to this. And then they ended up reacting in this way and due to something that happened, and you're still like demonizing them because of their actions. So it's just kind of like, let it go. You need to find a release. You need to find forgiveness. It feels like it has release, a fresh approach, liberation from obstruction, finding a solution, and exhilaration. Right now, you don't feel like you have a solution to the problem because you're not trying to solve your problem. You're trying to solve this other person's problem. You're trying to, I'm not going to say justify, because I don't justifying implies that the person did something wrong. You're trying to make sense of why somebody did something to you, when in reality, and I talk about this a lot in my Libra readings. If you watch any of my Libra readings on YouTube, we talk about this a lot. But you, as a Libra, have a way of, Libra is your ego. Your ego, Librian ego, it's represented by Aphrodite and Venus energy, right? You guys have a way of not seeing yourself in things. How you contributed to situations. What you bring to the table. It's exactly what I was just saying to Virgo. Like, what did you bring to this table, to deserve to receive this treatment? I never want to victim blame, because this does not go for, this is where I'm going to insert here, this does not go for any abusive relationships or any toxic relations that have turned to sexual or physical or emotional abuse. If you're being emotionally, physically, or sexually abused, at the end of the day, it's not your fault. There's nothing you did to deserve that. However, if we're talking about a spat or a betrayal, or something that occurred that was like, yeah, like a spat, a betrayal, a deception, just hurtful words, things of that nature, it's like, what did you do to contribute to this, to get this other person to a point, to their boiling point, to a point where they cut you off, or they hurt you, or back, you know what I mean? 2 wrongs don't make a right. Not excusing the other person as well. Probably Libras are probably the type of energy too to go watch. If I'm talking about somebody specific to you, you're probably going to go watch that person's energy, which I actually recommend that you should, because maybe you should get some understanding of other people. Anyways, the point is, Libra, right now, what you need to do is, with this before completion, you have uncertainty, loss of faith, doubt and hesitation, unstable conditions, be extra cautious, and discord. Right now, you're protecting yourself, protecting your heart. You don't trust people. You don't want to trust people, but you're out here talking to them with this dispersion card. You have no problem talking to them or being around them, but you just don't trust them, and that's just not healthy. So what I would say that you need to expand on is the idealism and the philosophies of accountability. Taking accountability for your actions, being accountable for even your thoughts. I could go into a whole thing about accountability, but I really don't want to. So you can go ahead and expand on accountability. And I think that you need to let go of the past. You need to let go of things. Like, when you're ready to take accountability, you can't say, but I did it because this is what I'm going to leave you with. Find an explanation for what happened and stop making excuses. Right now, you're making excuses for yourself and the other party. There's no excuse. So just find an explanation and then go from there. Learn about accountability. I'm going to throw this in here. It's probably a little rude, but it is what it is. You probably can benefit from seeing a therapist. All right. So we're going to jump into Scorpio, which everybody knows I hate doing Scorpio. So this is going to be very short. And I do have a few people messaging me about personal readings. Guys, if you want a personal reading, the link is right here. But if you want to just DM me about, like, if that full moon reading doesn't really resonate with you and you just want a general reading, I definitely can leave a link in the description. Okay. So this is funny because the cards coming through are exactly the cards that came through for Scorpio when I did the Scorpio. So I am seeking acceptance through my helping hand was the mantra I have. And we have following: loyalty, adaptability, cooperation, trust, reliability, sensitivity to others, service, and receiving guidance. It seems like Scorpio is being very helpful to other people. You guys are going through a place where you're trying to be a part of the team. It makes you feel happy. You feel like you're communicating with people right now, which is pretty good. Honestly, usually I hate doing Scorpio because it's always so negative and hard. But it seems like you guys, with this 10 treading, money's not really an issue right now. It seems like you're sharing your money and your finances with other people who need help. My ears are ringing. Self-awareness, proceed with caution and sensitivity. Like, you're not just trampling on other people's beliefs. It feels like, though, with you, Scorpio, right now, you're not trampling on others' beliefs in any way, but it feels like you still don't understand them. You're kind of going through a process where you're being helpful to others, but you just kind of don't understand these other people. You may not agree with them. Yeah, 5 of Wands. So I think that for you, what you want to expand on is empathy, understanding people and trying to put yourself in their shoes, because, look, strength just came through. Yeah, it seems like you guys are finding happiness or solace in following others and taking, look, he's holding this whole load, being strong for others. But, like, let's think about it. Two energies are coming through here: Taurus energy and Leo energy. I don't know if that's relevant for any Scorpios here, but because strength card is represented by Leo, and we obviously have a bull on the card, so Taurian energy. But it seems like you're holding on to a lot of big load for others. Oh, the Tower's here. Yeah, but you're gonna fall apart if you keep doing that. It comes back to the title of this reading. If you stand for anything, if you stand for nothing, you will fall for anything. So I think that you need to come to a place where you understand other people's beliefs and you kind of start having your own and stand by them. Don't just be so fluid. For some reason, I'm hearing, Scorpio, you should look into your Chinese astrology. That's like an intuitive message that's probably going to resonate with only a couple Scorpios. Yeah, Page of Wands is here, and 7 of Wands. And then the 10 of Swords, a relationship ending. Death. The chicken and the pig just came through, so you guys might be a chicken or a pig. And other astrology. Maybe that's what it is in general. Maybe you just need to look more into astrology, understand it more, read up about it, read a book. Scorpio, you guys are very in-depth people, and I'm only going to say this to you guys because it kind of goes against, it's kind of hypocritical for me to say because I just gave everybody this whole speech about how they need to look into the scientific aspects of astrology and such and such. I think for you, Scorpio, though, you guys let your minds wander so much that I think looking into science of astrology would overwhelm you. So I think that it might be beneficial if you guys just took a look at kind of like some just basic astrology things. I really think it could really help you out there. Alright, we're going to jump into Sagittarius. We've already talked a lot about Sagittarian energy, so I guess Sagittarius are the luckiest. Sagittarius, I'm going to recommend to you, you go back and watch this from the beginning, because at the end of the day, full moon was in Sagittarius. Most of the energy I've been talking about this whole time has been Sagittarian energy, philosophy, the way your mind works, the way that the moon works when it's in your sign, under your constellation. So you're really going to resonate with the beginning, the love, the money, and the spirituality reading. At this point, me doing Sagittarius in this aspect is just going to be like a... It's kind of overkill for you guys. You guys are kind of getting more than everybody else. Alright, so Sagittarius, I'm going to say first and foremost... Oh. Okay, you guys are sad. I don't like that, so we're not staying too long on this energy. Super sad. I have my 3 cards that come through whenever I get these cards all the time for Virgo. These are like the cards I get literally all the time because they're such a depressed sign. They're literally always depressed. They're like an uninflated balloon. It's very frustrating, and that's the energy I'm getting from you guys right now. It's just... You guys don't feel connected to your spirit guides. You don't feel connected to your spirituality. You don't feel connected to a passed on loved one is probably trying to send you messages, and it's confusing and overwhelming you. Not because you've never talked to them before, or you've never connected with the other side, but just because you're exhausted, depressed. You don't feel like you have the resources. You feel like you're being punished for something that's happened or that you've done. Alienation, a stalemate, stagnation, withholding, grinding to a halt, mistrust. You're not trusting the signs. You're confused if it's your loved one or a bad energy. You're getting confused between good energy and bad energy right now. You feel like you're super stressed out. You have a whole overload of information, and you're being gluttonous in the things you eat, drink. I'm always going to say consume. I always think eat, but consume. You're consuming too much reality TV. You're consuming too much social media. You're consuming too much food. You're consuming just too much stress. Like, you're overloaded with this ideal that nothing is right and nothing is going to be right. Letting go, withdrawal, reevaluation, retirement. Don't hesitate to walk away. It seems like you're supposed to walk away from a certain mindset or person right now. It feels like your spirit guides are trying to guide you towards, especially with this retirement here, mindset, person, or job or career. It seems like you have to withdraw from certain activities or tasks. I'm going to say definitely withdraw from the things you're consuming too much. Reality TV, binge watching, social media, toxic love affairs. And it doesn't even have to be toxic, but you could just be spending way too much time in the love aspect. You could be working too much with this 33 coming through. You definitely need a retreat. I would say, Sagittarius, you need a staycation or a vacation for sure. But it also feels like you're dealing with the death of somebody, and it doesn't really feel like a recent death. It just feels like, because it says a timely departure, so it could have been a long time ago. With the oppression here, restriction, exhaustion, depression. Yeah, you feel like this is probably the first time you're actually mourning a death. I feel like you're actually going through a mourning process. You feel cut off from this person, because the feeling cut off and the standstill, they're very important. I'm going to just show the cards one more time. Yeah. Insensitivity and mistrust are coming through. It feels like you could be dealing with somebody in the physical realm who's super insensitive to your emotions. They just come off as just super insensitive and rude. I'm gonna pull some clarifiers for you guys. Or you know what I think I'm gonna do? Since you guys got overkill anyways. Yeah, because I don't want more tarot. We're going to pull one of the Flowers of the Night Oracle. I'm going to read it from the book, and then I'm going to leave it there for Sagittarius. If you're a Sagittarius and you're looking for a more in-depth story, definitely book a full moon reading, or a general reading, and I'm more than happy to look deeper for you. But to be honest, this is very, communication just came through. Let me see what the other one is. Transformation and communication. I'm going to read both for you guys. And intentions. I'm going to read all three. But, it seems like you guys are very depressed, and I'm a Sagittarius, and this is very similar to the energy I've been feeling, so I don't want to dig too much deeper into this, because it's just going to kill my vibe for the rest of the reading. And we're almost done here. We only have Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces left, so I want to be able to get through those without losing energy. Sag, I'm hearing you need to learn how to protect your energy the way I just protected mine. Alright, ready? Transformation. A bat is here. So, real quick though, just bats represent, seeing in the nighttime, etc., etc. It could be you're having trouble sleeping. Yeah, I'm not going to get into that. There's something there, but I feel like that's more of a specific message for somebody. Okay, transformation. A change and perhaps even a new beginning is approaching, and it would be wise to ensure that you are armed with the truth before it is upon you. There is also a very real possibility of having to face a difficult challenge, so be sure to make yourself aware of any negative influences. Knowing what they are will make progress easier. That's what your spirit guides are trying to warn you of, the negative energy around you. What is it that you need to let go of at this time? This is a great period to release anything which you no longer need, or which you may have been hanging on to with a false sense of security. Listen to messages, feelings of inner knowing. It may be a little hazy at times, but the information you need to move forward, to change a situation, and to grow is there. Affirmation is, a new way unfolds within the petals of tomorrow's flower. Transformation, death, change, initiation, and depression. Can't make this shit up. You see that? Depression is coming through real strong for you guys. Let's do intention. On the intention card is Jasmine. So if you're watching this, just want to point out that you're in the right place. My name is Jasmine. A time to review your purpose in relation to the matter at hand. This will assist you in seeing the possible silver lining, or at least new possibilities, which will still give you a positive direction and will eventually match your original intentions. I think you feel drained because I feel like I said, you don't feel connected to your spiritual practices. And I'm not just going to say spiritual, but for Sagittarians, we're all about philosophy. So you don't feel connected to your belief system right now. It comes back to the money aspect of this whole reading of, is what you're doing connected to your purpose here on earth? So that's what you're feeling right now. Your intentions behind everything. What is the intentions you're bringing to everything? Good intentions pave the way to hell. Okay, so the intentions of those around you also need to be explored. What did I say? There's some negative energy around you. You would be wise to make sure you truly understand the people around you and their effects on the present as well as the immediate past. What events led to you being this depressed? Think about it and think about who contributed. You may be satisfied with what you currently enjoy, but there is a part of you that longs for more. Before stepping forward, it would be wise to refocus your intentions and look within. This is what it's talking about with the retreat. You have to let go. You have to take time to reconfigure the plan. Appreciate your own talents and skills and avoid perfectionism and becoming competitive. These traits will only dilute the wonderful gifts you possess. There's room at the table for everybody to eat, no matter what it is you want to do. There's nothing new under the sun. Me with these readings, there's 10 million other people you guys can watch readings. I'm not in competition with anybody else but myself. I don't want my readings to be better than anybody else's. I just want them to be better than my last one, right? So have that same energy with whatever it is that you do. Even with my books and my writing, like, I don't want my writing to be better than anybody else's. I just want my writing to advance, and I just want to grow in my talent, right? I just want to be the best version, and I don't believe in superlatives, so actually I won't say the best version of myself. I just want to keep transforming into, I just want to keep growing. That's it. I just want to keep growing. I'm never okay with mediocre, you know? I want to be at the top of my game. So yeah. My intentions, affirmation, my intentions and purpose are true. True and tried. Remember I kept saying that earlier, guys? True and tried. True and tried. You need a true and tried belief system. Tried and true is actually what I was saying. Keywords: intention, purpose, self-acceptance, positivity over perfectionism. And let's do communication, and then we're going to close off Sagittarius. Time for discussions, speaking up, and ensuring that you are really heard. What needs to be said or communicated more clearly? Is your truth, your message, and your meaning being fully understood? Are you conveying your intentions through your actions? You know, you may have intentions, or you may have had deeper spiritual purpose, whatever it is. But is this showing in what you're communicating? Take extra notice of what is being shown and shared with you, as you could easily miss some very important points. Think about other people. Are their intentions matching their actions? This is a chance to share your passion through creative expression and to gain more interest in what it is you do. This energy extends to opportunities to change jobs, gain promotions, sell creative works, and obtain positions to share your work more widely. Truth is being heard at the moment, and you may need to forget the past and trust in the future so you can enjoy today more fully. Be careful of gossip, being misrepresented, or doing things which may not align with your truth. The affirmation is, I speak with truth and clarity. And the keywords are communication, trust, discussions, sharing, expressions, and defensiveness. So overall, Sagittarius, you are going to go ahead and you want to expand on intentions and your purpose, right? Understanding what it means to be on this earth with a purpose. I feel like yours was kind of goes without saying, but I guess I'll just continue a little bit. But yeah, you want to expand on purpose, intentions, your belief system in general. Yeah, I don't really know. There's a lot there for you guys. I think you guys can pick and choose what you want to expand on. Your Sagittarius is, I shouldn't have to explain that to you. What you need to let go of is the past, though. And people in your immediate past and present who are negative and who do not support you fully and thoroughly. Emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially. I don't care what word we enter there, Lee, but that's what you need to do. Alright, so Capricorn. Everybody knows Capricorn is my most viewed sign. I, to this day, still do not know why. Alright, Capricorn. So, it looks like there's some Virgo and energy happen here. But it also, I think this, I pulled a card here for Taurus too, though. So, it feels like maybe the Earth energy is just all kind of matching. Because there's some distinct differences. So it feels like you need some solitude or some time away from your family, or the intimate relationships happening in your life. We have the family, which is heredity, blood bonds, kindred spirits, ancestry, home life. It seems like, I'm going to go ahead and say this off the rip, for Capricorn, what is coming through very strongly is who your intimate relationships with and who you consider your family now is not the same as your ancestry or your heredity, like your actual line of people you're related to. It seems like you could be you married into a family, or you like you're an adoptee in a sense. It may not be like you're literally adopted by somebody, because you can be a grown-ass person, but you could be. I'm getting like lightheaded thinking about this. It's like overwhelming me. Like it's giving me like dissociativeness, which is funny because that's what's here, the detached card. Like I don't even think you guys think about this like this, because you just feel like this is your family. That's what family is. But that's like, I'm hearing like your ancestors scream like, no, we're your family. Yeah, especially, I've never pointed this out about this card, so this has to be specific to you guys. But you see how there's all different colored people on this card? It feels like you guys are literally in an adopted family with a completely different culture than your own. So it feels like your original family, like where your genetics lie to, is a completely, like, they have a specific culture that they want you to know about, and you've been seeing things about this. I'm going to go, like, and say, like, Native American, Aztecian, I'm hearing Latin and Native American roots for some reason, but like, I feel like, even with the Asian, I'm going to go ahead and say like Asian, but I feel like you live in a family that is considered either black or white. And I don't think that you've explored deeply into like your own roots and what your actual roots are. But for some reason, it seems like this is important, because it seems like the next chapter you're about to have in your life, the abundance, to strengthen bonds, strengthen relationships. They want you to strengthen your connection to them, your ancestors, your bloodline. Because it seems like there's information in your bloodline that will help you heal or help you manifest. I'm going to say heal. Some of it is healing, but most of it is manifestation. So Capricorn, if you want to heal right now, or you're trying to manifest abundance, the reason you're not manifesting abundance is because you're not connected to your bloodline. You're not connected to the spiritual practices that they had. There must be a practice, a routine. My ears are ringing super bad, so I'm probably leaving this alone in a few minutes. Capricorn, I'm going to tell you, you need to expand on nature. You need to go outside, because right now I'm having like this really in-depth feeling that I just like want to go outside and run for some reason. Yeah, and too many messages are flooding through and I don't like it. But yeah, guys, you guys need to expand on your bloodline, and you guys need to expand on like, you guys always know too, when I start to get quiet like this, when I'm not talking as fast and when I'm talking lower, there's too much happening. I'm getting way too many downloads. I'm hearing writing, like they want you to write a letter to somebody who's in a different state. They want you to, there's like a line of communication, write, call. You're supposed to be talking to somebody who's in a different state for some reason, Capricorn, or a different place, a different country. You're supposed to, I can hear my voice echoing. This is really random. This is going to be like a specific message for somebody super specific, but a ballroom is super specific. I see people like dancing, but then I also see like this is super random. First off, I see two different things. I see a ballroom for some, or some type of hall or event that is super significant. So I don't know if there's like a family reunion coming up for you or something, but I'm also hearing and seeing that said ballroom or said event is celebrating your ancestry, but there was some type of slaughter or some type of like, yeah, there's some type of slaughter of your ancestors. So there's like some type of like connection there. Like your people, your actual people are celebrating something that is in remembrance of the grotesque deaths of your ancestors. I'm going to leave that there. But if you're a Capricorn, definitely drop in the comments if that resonated. because that was super specific. And also too, if drop the state that you guys are talking about, because I'm pretty, as an urban studies major, I pretty much know every state in regard to like what the Native American history is. So I would want to know if the state you're supposed to go to, if there actually was a slaughter there. Okay, but yeah, I'm gonna leave that there. Capricorn, expand on that, because I'm just gonna go ahead and say for you guys, let go of the relationships you have that feel immediate or intimate. These people may feel like family. That's awesome. Family can be an extension of your bloodline. I'm not saying in any way, shape, or form fuck the people who are calling you family, but I'm just saying that your key to manifestation lies within your bloodline. So expand on your bloodline and kind of start to let go of this ideal that whoever's in your immediate family right now is your only family. That's what you need to let go of. This ideal that the people who have been there for you are the only people who are there for you. All right, we're going to go into the last two. Which is Aquarius and then Pisces. You guys always get the short end of the stick because I'm about to run through you guys because I'm getting sick of talking. So you guys are going to get about 2 minutes each from me. Oh, that's weird. Aquarius, Scorpio must be really significant for you. Alright, Aquarius. So what we have here is... Okay, so there's somebody who's doing a lot for you, or being helpful to you. Just want to start that, but I'm not going to get too deep into that. If Scorpio resonates with you, go watch Scorpio. Otherwise, what I'm going to say is treading, correct behavior, act responsibly. You're having to act responsibly in a situation where, like, no, like, you really just deserve to go, like, buck wild. Like, you're being super emotionally detached, like always, because that's what you guys are known for. But it's, like, in a situation where, like, you actually have every right to scream, yell, fight, kick. But you're taking the higher road, like always. Dragonflies are here, so I see that there's some assistance happening from the other side. A recent loss could be happening. Also, we have the waiting. We have the pregnant woman here. So taking care of essentials even well enough alone. Moderation, right timing, perseverance. Alright, I'm showing two things here. Like either to, like there was a loss of a child in the past. And we're showing that there's an arrival happening with another child, or we're showing that there's a loss of a child recently, but I'm showing that with this here, it's showing that like child's in a better place and is now one of your spirit guides and kind of guiding you to be more happy. Essentially, either way, you're in a path, you're in route to happiness and delight, self-expression. I'm sensing you're going to be in a place where it's like you're able to express yourself much more easily. It's all about how you look at the situation. This card right here, I always talk about the red carpet, because it's like red flags that you missed, and you're in like this place that looks like it's like beautiful or whatever, but then you actually realize that there's an abyss outside and an abundant, beautiful field outside that you can literally walk into. That's you right now. You're walking past the red flags. You're finally realizing the red flags, they're beneath you, and you're now walking into this abyss of happiness. What I would say for you is you want to expand on self-expression. You want to expand on your belief system, because I am hearing tattoos are going to be important. Style of clothing. Look into these things. For tattoos, I'm hearing like look into the spiritual connections you have to certain things. Tattoos, painting, decorating a house, redecorating a house, style of clothing. These are all going to be things like you could feel inspired by your ancestors to get a certain tattoo, get a certain painting for your home, buy certain clothing that represents your bloodline or your heredity, or even just a picture of a spiritual, of an ancestor who's passed away, a spirit guide who's passed away. Wearing them on a shirt, getting their name on a necklace I'm seeing. I wear my father's ring. So it could literally be just something as simple as wearing a piece of jewelry from a passed away loved one, or getting a piece of jewelry, piece of clothing or something in honor of a passed away loved one. Yeah. So I think what you need to let go of is it just feels like there was toxicity you're leaving from. It feels like you need to let go of the idea that you lost something, because you didn't lose anything. When one door closes, another door opens. So yeah, look into that philosophy of just what I just said. When one door closes, another one opens. Alright, we're going to go into Pisces. And then I'm going to close it off, guys, because it's been about 2 hours. Alright, Pisces. The last few Pisces readings I did have not been very good. Okay, this one's not going to be good either, apparently. Okay, Pisces, definitely getting some calls from your ancestors as well. There's only been, I hate when it sounds repetitive, like when I go from one sign to another and they're both getting signs from their ancestors, because if you were listening to all 12 signs, or you go back and listen to like whatever the signs that are relevant for you, you'll notice that I only actually said it for about 4 signs. 4 out of 12 is not that much. So, yeah, 23, collapse, change is happening right now. Big major change is happening for you. Having to let go of a lot of things, surrender, death, decrease. Feels like a decrease in funds, but it also feels like there's a huge turning point that is occurring in your life. Not feels like, the cards say it. There's a huge turning point that's happening in your life. Right timing, regeneration, inevitability, steady improvement. So it feels like you've had to cut back on some things, some financial things. There's been loss, but this loss doesn't feel recent. It feels actually does. It feels like, but it's not a loss of a person. It's a loss of a thing, an organ, or like a I'm sensing surgery, or like I'm sensing surgery, or like a mental thing that's been lost. Death to the ego. I say that a lot, but it just feels like something else has been lost. Anyways, the point is, or money too. Just a loss of money, just having to decrease and cut back. But right now it's coming through as right timing. So now is the right time to start manifesting again. Now is the right time to start going into the new phase of your life. It's the turning point, but also remember that things are cyclical. After death comes a new beginning, but after a new beginning, death will follow soon after. So it's kind of you understanding the life-death cycle, life, rebirth, death cycle. And I just want to point out with that, this book I'm going to recommend to you, Pisces, is Women Who Run with the Wolves by Clarissa Pinkus. I think her last name is. Message me if that resonates with you or you want to read that book. It's an academic book. It's very long. On the scale of 1 to 10, when I say how hard the book is to read, I definitely always put it in as a 10. So I'm going to go ahead and just say that for you guys, are you here? Where are you going? So I'm going to go ahead and say that for you guys, it's, yeah, just like the right time to change things over. Alright guys, so I'm going to go ahead and close this off here. I hope this resonates. If so, please drop a comment, like, share, subscribe, and I'm signing off.